am Honorable Chief Mitema Obordor, speaking for Ogbea Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, minutes ago I was asked what my chieftaincy title is in a committee meeting. I am pleased to inform this House that my chieftaincy title is Akese the Fourth. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to move a motion on the need to establish a Garri processing and storage facility in Otuokpoti, Ogbea local government area of Bayelsa State. The House notes that food is essential to the existence of man, and Garri is one of the staple foods in Nigeria that cuts across all tribes and social strata. Aware that the people of Ogbea Federal Constituency in Bayelsa State are predominantly cassava farmers, a major raw material in the manufacturing of Garri, fufu, cassava flour, farina colloquially referred to as popo Garri, worried that farmers face significant losses due to inadequate storage facilities and limited production on small scales, while the younger generations are discouraged by the rigorous manual procedures, recognizes that establishing a Garri processing and storage facility will reduce waste from cassava farm produce, encourage youth farming, reduce unemployment, boost economic conditions, and address the hunger crisis. Mr. Speaker, the House is cognizant that Bayelsa State government plans to upgrade its mini Garri processing facility due to outdated equipment and machinery, and to expand it to accommodate the growing population and neighboring states. Results, Mr. Speaker, to urge the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, Fadama 2, to approve the construction of a Garri storage and processing facility to be located in Otuokpoti, Ogbea local government, and 2, mandate committees on agricultural production and services and legislative compliance to ensure implementation. Mr. Speaker, I so move. Thank you. My name is Honorable Chief Mitema Obordor. I am the member representing Ogbea Federal Constituency. I'm from Bayelsa State. Yes, first, I want to state categorically that there is no ambiguity in the wordings of the motion that I presented on the floor of the House today. But somehow, or very unfortunately, I noticed that some persons, very few of the members, misunderstood the content of that motion. Now, I wasn't talking about menial Garri processing machine. That is what every household, even the poorest of the poor, have a way, a local way of processing their Garri. If that was the case, I will not bring a motion of this nature. We have been processing Garri for subsistence, for feeding in our families, and even for some minor commercial purposes. What we are saying is that Nigeria as a nation is facing food crisis, and drawing example or inference from what happened during the COVID-19 and the kind of flood situations that we've been having, that every flood season there is need for the government to go into the storage facilities and bring out food and distribute as palliatives to people. Now, one of the staple food that every Nigerian, so to say, consumes or eats is this Garri. And it is produced especially in the states of the southern part of Nigeria, even the north. Cassava, true cassava. Now, are we going to continue in producing at that menial level, just for that subsistence level? The purpose of the motion is that, look, we have enough cassava in Bayelsa State, and especially in my own federal constituency. And so we need a storage facility. This is what the person who opposed or who brought in this confusion didn't even look at the letters of my motion. I wasn't talking about Garri processing machine. And then making reference that, oh, this is something that can be done by every member. She has done one. What I do for my constituents may be different from what she does or from what anybody will do. I have penciled down 300 farmers, rural farmers in my constituency, and I'm providing facilities and money for them to enhance their farming. That money is enough to have done 10 of these local Garri processing machine that she was referring to. So what you do, there is scale of preference for everybody. What is preferential to you at this moment may not be exactly what I intend to do or what my people will need at the same time. We are saying that Ogbia Federal Constituency and Bayelsa State is an integral part of this country and deserves federal government patronage. We are even trying to help the federal government because right now as we speak, the federal government have ordered the release of grains. Where were they? They were in storage facilities. We want an industrial Garri processing machine that will produce Garri in quantity, a very large quantity. A storage facility that can keep Garri in bags, millions of bags, so that whenever we face the need, take for instance flood comes, take for instance we don't pray for COVID-19, but anytime like now that there is food crisis, we can say, look, we have this number of, because we've been wasting our raw materials now. We bring them for 2-3 days, cassava will rot away. So we need this kind of machines that can produce in that large quantity. That is the purport and the purpose of the motion. And I want to put it on record that that motion, there is no ambiguity. The letters of the motion are self-explanatory. And members were willing to vote. Again, perhaps because it is the last motion and we also understand that this is a period of fasting for Muslims, brothers and colleagues. Now, for which, of course, most respectedly, Mr. Speaker is also a Muslim and will be wanting to rush. Otherwise, by the practice direction and the rules, if somebody opposes your motion, then the right of reply must be given to you. And that is what you can see while you were in the house. I was insisting that I have the right to reply. That would have given me the opportunity to explain and give a better insight to the purpose of that motion. But that wasn't granted. I'm not saying that it was done willfully, because you could see that the mood of mostly the Muslim brothers was to leave and then go for the prayers. So I just want to put it on record that the motion suffered that setback because of certain misunderstanding and perhaps 1 or 2 members didn't. And of course, I wasn't given the right of reply. I think we will look for a way to see how we can represent this motion. We can represent this motion. Thank you very much.